Hashtag savefallguys has been trending on twitter.com the past few days and has spread to other social media such as Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok. Even a news website called .esports wrote an article about it. To briefly summarize it, people are fed up with the direction in which Epic Games are taking Fall Guys in. From bugs that take months to get patched out, to the same maps appearing in the regular modes over and over and over again, to maps seemingly being removed without any reason being given. There really isn't one singular issue, but multiple smaller issues that have compounded over the 2 years that Fall Guys has been out for. I'm going to try my best to comprehensively explain the problems that people are having with Fall Guys, but I won't be able to touch on every little thing. So let's start with the biggest change that people want, and that's skill-based matchmaking. To understand why people are praying for its downfall, I'll need you to understand the lore behind SBMM. Fall Guys switched from the Unity matchmaker to Fortnite's matchmaker sometime in April 2022. It's currently only in solo shows, so squads, duos, and the LTMs do not have skill-based matchmaking. Thanks to leaker FG Muffin, we're able to see how it kinda works. Skill-based matchmaking has 3 brackets: low, medium, and high. And you can usually tell what bracket you're in by how many bots you see in your lobby. So if you're in low tier, you'll see 20 bots and they're able to stay until round 3 and they'll leave shortly thereafter. Middle tier has 10 bots and are only in round 1. And high bracket doesn't have any bots. The reason this is relevant is because depending on what bracket you're in, some maps are just unavailable to you. They made it this way so newbie players can get a feeling for the mechanics and have a good understanding of how the game works without dying constantly on the harder maps. All you need to know about SBMM, it was made so that newbie players don't have to worry about being put in lobbies with sweaty players. People are very split on whether or not a Fall Guy should have skill-based matchmaking, and as someone who has 1,000 crowns and has been playing the game since March 26, 2021, a lot of you might disagree with me on this, but I do believe skill-based matchmaking is for the greater good and should be in Fall Guys. However, it needs to be heavily tweaked. Skill-based matchmaking aids in fixing one of Fall Guys' biggest issues that it's had since its beginning in 2020, and that's player retention. What that means is how long people are playing your game for. If a player downloads Fall Guys and plays it for 2 days and never plays it again, that's low retention. Player acquisition and player retention are the pillars of a live service game like Fall Guys. Skill-based matchmaking allows newbies to play with people who are on their level. The removal of SBMM is one of the main things you'll hear in regards to saving Fall Guys. And while I do think it needs to be tweaked, and Mediatonic appear to be doing just that, I think removing it could be detrimental to Fall Guys in the long term. I do see where people who are anti-SBMM are coming from. In higher ranks, it's a death sentence if you get a bad spawn, because everyone takes the same path. You can't really make any mistakes, otherwise it's game over. Mediatonic recently banned the word #remove SBMM from the Twitch chat due to people spamming it constantly, and honestly, I don't blame the Twitch chat moderators for doing so. It can get annoying and troublesome to deal with, especially in a Twitch chat. And the stream that they were doing wasn't really relevant to SBMM, it was just the community managers just playing Fall Guys like they normally do. People have suggested that Mediatonic add a ranked mode and just put SBMM in that and remove from solos. Other games have done this. They have a casual mode along with ranked. While it does sound great, I do think player fragmentation could be a big issue, where most of the player base might go to one of the modes more than the other, causing one of the shows to not have enough players to start a game. Regardless if you're pro SBMM or not, this shows a wider issue that's been plaguing Mediatonic for over a year now, and that's a lack of transparency and communication. Lack of communication and transparency. All you have to do is check the official Fall Guys Twitter page to see what I'm talking about. The only things they tweet about is memes and whatever paid costumes and LTMs are live. They almost never tweet about fixing bugs or acknowledging the community that are working on a fix, ages fixing bugs, and usually reserve patch notes for when a new season is out. And sometimes they just shadow drop seasons, like literally a new season is coming out and just within like 48 hours, they'll just start doing all the promotion material for a season rather than building up hype for it. As someone who doesn't use social media at all, basically, I'm sure I'm scratching the surface here. However, I don't want people to target the social media managers or any individuals for that matter. Harassing them is scumbag behavior and won't even do anything but just make them more distant from the community. I think Mediatonic's community managers really can't do much because they can only say things that upper management wants them to say, and those people are probably Epic Games, who in my opinion, I don't think people are flaming enough. Corporations are incredibly methodical and archaic in how they function. You need approvals for almost every single thing. Mediatonic tries not to say anything and just quietly patch things out because they think if they say something, it's just lip service. However, if you don't tell them what you're trying to patch out or that you're working on it, how will you know what you're doing? Right now, we're on Season 2 Satellite Scramble, or SS2 as some people like to call it, and the only maps we could get in the core shows or the regular shows are variants that they added in Season 2. We don't know when the regular variations are going to come back. Currently, in Solo Show, out of these 76 maps, only 54 of them are currently in the game, with no explanation as to where the other maps are or where the other variations are. And the only variants in the game are currently the ones they added for Season 2. This wouldn't be an issue if they just acknowledged this and gave an explanation to why they're limiting the round pool. The limited time modes don't offer enough variety by themselves, so people play the regular modes to feel that urge. But if the regular modes or the regular shows have the same maps with the same variants over and over again, it gets old really fast. Really, the only reason why we're able to know this is because there are leakers who are tweeting about this. No official sources have really said anything in regards to it. And just this point leads into the next thing that I want to discuss, and that's the lack of quality of life updates. Quality of life. It's been over 500 days since squads was added to Fall Guys, and yet when our entire squad is dead, we still can't leave the game without it saying our squad is in contention. Like, no, we're not. Let us leave and get our rewards. People have been begging Mediatonic to fix this since its inception back in season 4. And as I'm recording this video, you still cannot preview celebrations, like not in your store or not in your inventory. Like, I'm not gonna buy a celebration for 1,000 show bucks, or basically the equivalent of $8, without knowing what it looks like. I thought they would have done this when the new store came out to incentivize people to buy them, but I guess not. I get that they added the ability to favorite things, but a search bar is something that people have been asking for months. The Nintendo Switch port is locked to 30 FPS, and while you could get used to it, some maps like Cosmic Highway are just unplayable. Making a port for the Switch is no easy feat due to the limited hardware, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. But Cosmic Highway being a PowerPoint presentation on Switch is just unacceptable. Come on, lads. There's probably way more things I failed to mention, but for the sake of this video's length, I'll move on to talk about the limited round pool in greater detail. Limited round pool. With the release of Season 2, Mediatonic decided to release a whole bunch of variations to existing maps. It has been more than a year since Mediatonic added variations. The last time I believe they added variations was in Legacy Season 5, which was great. For the first 2 weeks or so, the core game modes, that being solos, duos, and squads, would only show maps that had the variations added in SS2, which is a third of the maps in the entire game. Things got old real fast. People have been getting the same 5 maps over and over again. What made this even worse was a Hatsune Miku event that lowered this round pool even more, and that event lasted for 1.5 weeks. Space Race got removed due to the low gravity zone flashing constantly, which could cause seizures, so good on them for removing, and I'm glad they did that. But there are maps have been removed for unknown reasons, and Mediatonic hasn't said a word about them. Maps like Slime Climb and Lillipers are examples of this, and they're both fan favorites. Hoverboard Heroes was removed due to an invisible ion thruster bug, and the board was moving too fast. But couldn't you just remove that variation and not the entire map? Future seasons of Fall Guys cannot have this. Maybe you could just show off the new variations for a week, but after that you gotta bring back the other maps and its variants. Variety is needed, and playing the same maps over and over again will lead to higher player churn and reduce player retention. Now let's tackle the Fall Guys economy next. Fall Guys economy. Showbucks is the Fall Guys premium currency introduced in Season 1 Free For All, or SS1. In United States dollars, it's $7.99 for 1,000 Showbucks, $19.99 for 2,800 Showbucks, $31.99 for 5,000, and $79.99 for 13,500. This is important to know because the skins now cost Showbucks. Skins that were previously part of DLC packs that costed $5, in which you could get 3 skins, are now selling for $8 a skin. Not a pack, a skin. Most skins in this game cost around 800 Showbucks, which is around $8, assuming you're buying the 1,000 Showbucks pack. And some bundles cost upwards of 2,400, like the Halo bundle for example, which is $20, and that doesn't even count the freaking emote because it's sold separately. In Season 2, they've definitely gotten better at providing more stuff in the bundles. Like one of the Destiny bundles for example had a celebration, a full skin, half a skin, banner, 2 nicknames for about 1,200 Showbucks. And while on the note of that, the thing that I also hate is how things cost 1,200 Showbucks, because then you'll have to go and buy the more expensive pack, because earning 200 Showbucks from the season pass would just take time because of how spread apart they are. And by the time you get the 200 Showbucks, the thing that you already want in the store is just gone. They also started selling complete kits for 1,000 Showbucks, which has a full skin, faceplate, color, emote, banner, and a nickname, which is fairly decent. But just what really grinds my gears is if I own a part of a skin, why do I have to pay full price for the other half? It's cheaper to buy a full skin than it is to buy half a skin. Give a guy a discount, please. Thankfully, this only happens in the daily store, but the fact that it just happens just pisses me off. Like, before the game was free to play, I would only buy lower halves because I don't wear any other upper halves. But if I want an upper half for a skin I want to just complete, for example, I'm just out of luck and I have to pay basically $8 for half a skin. However, this is all to say that this is basically Fortnite pricing. I hope people are aware of that. And skins of Fall Guys shouldn't be worth this much. Cut the prices in half, please, or allow us to earn more Showbucks from either adding them to the daily challenges or putting more of them in the season pass. I'm not sure if other season passes from other games do this, but in Fall Guys, this season pass gives you about 1,500 Showbucks, which will allow you to buy the next season's pass, which costs 950 Showbucks currently. So good on them for doing that, I suppose. Do let me know, do other games do this? But I'll be honest, I would like if they just double that, because then you really can't buy a skin if you only get Showbucks from the season pass, if you want to buy the next season pass, that is. On the other hand, Kudos just needs to be reworked entirely. Back before Fall Guys was free to play, you used to be able to earn Kudos just by playing games. If you won a game, for example, you would get 1,000 or so Kudos, and even if you lose, you would get like a couple hundred Kudos. Now to earn Kudos, you need to complete daily challenges, which will give you a paltry 200 Kudos. That's 1,300 a week. Live events usually give out 200, and finally the season pass, which gives out 2,700. I remember when live events used to give you thousands of Kudos, and season 6's Fame Pass, or season pass as now it's called, give you 24,000 Kudos. Even season 5's Fame Pass gave you 24,000 Kudos, which pales in comparison to the 2.7k you get in today's pass. It would take you more than a week of grinding the daily challenges and just the season pass and everything to get the skins in the Kudos store, and by then the skin you would have wanted is just long gone. Like, why? You can't buy Kudos anymore. It's just asinine. I just can't logically think, why would they do this? Is it just to incentivize people just to buy Showbucks? Because then since they're earning not enough Kudos, they're like, okay, I need a skin, let me just go buy. I don't get it, man. I'm flabbergasted. Honestly, they just need to make it to where you earn more than 2,000 Kudos in the daily challenges, or 2,000 Kudos would be adequate, and increase the amount of Kudos you can earn in the season pass as well. You should be able to earn 24,000 Kudos in the current season passes. The reason probably why they stopped letting you earn Kudos is probably because people would just farm them by entering a game and going AFK, and they would just tape down the jump button, which also starts to search for a new lobby. They just kept doing this over and over again until they collected thousands of Kudos, essentially exploiting the system. And also, Kudos was associated with grinding and was just an earnable currency, so buying them with real money made no sense. They also made it to where you can't earn a lot, so you'll be able to likely cave in and buy a skin, just like I said previously. And once you've bought one skin, you'll be likely to buy another and another. The first purchase is always the hardest. Live events. And speaking of events, the rewards on them since Fall Guys went free to play have been terrible. You get like 200 Kudos and a backpack or gloves, whereas before you would get a full costume with every live event. It seems like there will only be one live event per season. We were able to earn a full costume, and along with the tough challenges compounded with a short time frame, makes it so newbies who would greatly benefit from this are just unable to get it. In SS2, they started to lock certain missions, so you have to do it in a certain way rather than freely like you used to. Personally, I don't mind this change, but I can see how people will hate this. Some live events like the Miku one that I keep mentioning have even affected the round pool, getting rid of certain maps which just destroyed the map variety. I find the collectathon live events to be really fun, but I was over the Miku event on the second day. Map variety just really destroyed that live event for me, and it lasted for 1.5 weeks too. Live events need to start giving out Showbucks. Honestly, 200 Showbucks would suffice. Squads and duos. There is no real way to punish people who leave, along with having no comeback mechanic if you happen to lose a member. People have suggested they add a multiplier to make up the lack of an ally, and as well as the issue of not being able to back out and get your rewards when all of your squad mates are confirmed dead. People have also commented that duos last for 7 to 8 rounds. And also, I personally hate it when I queue up for a duo or squads game. Round 1, one of my members is missing. Like, why? Personally, I don't play squad or duos all that much, so for the people who play them regularly, comment below if I miss anything important. Season Pass glitch. As of recording this video, the crown shard you get at level 101 till 200 are bugged. When you unlock that level, you don't get the shards added to your account immediately. You have to restart the game, then you'll see it added to your account. A fast way of doing this is to change the language in the game settings to something else. That will restart your game without you having to close it. I might have missed out on a few things, apologies if I did. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers before the end of 2022, so subscribe.